You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Bold and the Beautiful fans, I've got your early edition spoilers for November 25th through the 29th. Hope Logan is doing Forrester Creations dirty. Brooke is panicking, and we've got a couple of preemptions to talk about for Thanksgiving week. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and as we always do on early edition day, we start with what's coming the rest of this week just to set you up for next week. If you have not, please reach down, click subscribe. Let's talk about what is coming. So on Wednesday, the 20th, we are going to continue with that conversation with Carter, Ridge, and Steffy that was going on Tuesday. And Carter's being very demanding. And he's got that folder with him of the legal papers for the LLC where he's written his name in as the manager. So he's poised to do this really sketchy takeover thing that Hope is cheering, and all he needs is their signatures and for them to not read the documents, which he's confident they will not do. Now, if they did, that would kind of kill this plot where it is. But I think Steffi's in such a blind rage, she's probably not in a headspace to read anything. So picking up with that conversation on Wednesday, Carter is telling Ridge and Steffy in a very demanding way, reinstate Hope and hope for the future. And this is when Steffy calls Hope a bitch. And that's going to infuriate Carter. And he keeps trying to argue this with Ridge, but as he's pushing this best friend card that he's playing with Ridge, while trying to say that Steffi's wrong for bringing personal things into work, it's kind of hypocritical, because what is the best friend card if it's not personal? What's problematic for me in this storyline, I'll tell you this real quick and then I'll get back into the spoilers, is I'm having a hard time liking anyone in it. Like, Brooke is sitting on the Hope and Carter secret, which is a big deal, and yet she's over there trying to bully Finn into changing his story when he's got no reason to believe that Hope is after anybody else. If Brooke would say what she knows, Finn would be, oh, okay, I did misread that, but she's trying to gaslight him to change his mind, and he's getting mad. So Brooke's not being great. Carter and Hope are planning what they know is a horribly unethical and diabolical takeover, which makes them kind of sketchy and unlikable. Brooke is finding out about that this week. She's going to probably sit on that secret. That's problematic. Ridge is, trying to waffle around like usual, and just he doesn't want anybody mad at him, and he's just slithering around. Steffy has given up any pretense that the firing was about business and it's about Finn. And I think the only people that just aren't being awful right now are, like, I don't know, Will the intern and Ivy and Electra maybe. At this point, I think I might even like Electra Stalker a little better than the rest of them, because they're all just behaving badly, and I can't even take a team because they're everybody's doing things that are bad. All right, so no success in overturning Hope's firing, despite pushing and basically badgering Steffy, playing this friend card and everything. Carter cannot change their minds, and he has the papers there. So the big question is, will he actually trigger this? Will he lay them in front of them and have them sign the papers? That's the last thing they need. Then on Thursday, the 21st, we've got Carter reporting back to Hope that he couldn't get anywhere with them. And I'm sure she's going to want to know, did they sign the documents? So Brooke was talking to Hope, and I don't know if she shows backup or if she is leaving as he comes in and she sticks around. Either way, she is right outside the door of the little cabin on the prairie and listening in on them, and is horrified to find out that they are planning this unethical and shady coup. Even though, yes, Carter could write his name in there, doesn't mean they ever intended him to write his name in there and do what he's planning on doing, which is implementing his plan that they have said very specifically they don't want. And even though he thinks they're making a mistake, it's their company, they're entitled to make it. So he knows he is betraying them. And Ridge and Steffy have a tense talk on Thursday where she is increasingly questioning Carter's loyalty because every conversation he gets deeper and deeper and deeper into the blowing the horn for the Logans. And she basically has said he's lost it. This is all he is about now. And, Ridge is of the mindset that they really need him. But Steffy is starting to doubt his objectivity. And of course, Carter doubts her objectivity. And I doubt both their objectivity. Friday, November 22nd, Carter and Hope have done with their talking and scheming, and Brooke gets Hope alone, and she is trying to get her to confess and wants to know if there's something she's not telling her about Carter. And, maybe Hope thinks it's about their love lives or something, but I just don't see Hope coming clean. That should come Thursday or Friday. That was from the promo, but it comes after Carter and Hope do their final little bit of scheming. Will and Electra head over to Il Giardino, and while he's away from the table, I don't know if he's paying the check, gone to tinkle, or had to take off, but Remy shows up. Remy Price is Electra's psycho stalker ex, and he sits down at the table, and I think Electra is quite scared, and she is smiling and playing nice, but I think it's just out of horror and terror, and he says, "I came to see you." Also, by the end of the week, Bill is supposed to make a decision about what he's going to do about Luna, if anything. He did not burn the last letter. He just crumpled and threw it. I think he should have burned it. Going into the week of November 25th through the 29th, there's going to be an encore episode on Thanksgiving Day, Thursday, November 28th, and then a CBS Sports Preemption on Friday, November 29th. If you don't like sports, there's always Black Friday shopping. Families are fractured this year. Thomas has gone to Paris, and Douglas is still there, and still no Thomas in sight at all. I'm going to be stunned if we see him back again. It feels like another low-key firing like they did with, Darren Brooks as Wyatt. I'm hoping for different, but I'm not optimistic. If they have the big family dinner at Eric's, can you imagine how awkward? Brooke eyeing Taylor to make sure she doesn't yum Ridge right on top of the yummy candied yams, all the Logans glaring at Steffi, Finn glaring at Hope, Carter trying to play footsie with Hope while Brooke's glaring at them to get them to stop, Hope slipping into a closet to fool around with Carter, and then Finn tries to get his coat and accuses Hope of molesting him again. I mean, good times, right? Maybe everybody should just dine separately this year. Turkey TV dinners or get it catered or something. Electra runs freaking out to Ivy that Remy found her, which is exactly what she was scared of. It's her worst nightmare come true. Electra may want to run, but Ivy will convince her to stay. Carter tried that one last time to get the Forresters to see things his way, and he and Hope at this point have gaslit each other into believing they are saving Forrester Creations from the Forresters, and that's the only way forward. And so after Thanksgiving is over and the dishes are washed and the leftovers are put away, it looks like they are going to pull the trigger on this plot. They're headed into corporate fraud territory. Carter could end up in trouble for this. We'll see. And Brooke is sitting on 2 powder kegs by this time. She's really mad at Finn when he used the phrase out of control about Hope on the most recent episode. But if the shoe fits, maybe Brooke needs to rethink what's happening there, because her convincing Carter to do this is a little bit out of control. Stephanie has those personal feelings in it at work. The lines are blurred for everybody. But the bottom line is the Logans don't own the company. And the big question remains is, will Brooke stand by and let Carter and Hope do Ridge and Eric dirty? I know Brooke hates Steffi, but the other two, she's got no excuse on it. And it's all going to come down to Brooke, I think, either doing the right thing or standing by and letting the wrong thing happen when she could stop it. But with a very short week of soaps, only 3 new episodes of B&B next week, it's going to roll into early December before we get a lot more forward action on this storyline. Unless, of course, there's some chance they notice the papers, but I don't see it happening. Meanwhile, Steffi keeps pressing about issuing the press release about the end of Hope for the Future and the break with Hope. And she is starting to feel like they need to replace Carter. And, Ridge smells trouble in the wind as well. But if they go ahead and sign that LLC document, it is already too late.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast. because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.